Good morning, my beautiful programmers, and those who really love to program, who want to learn how to program. Today I'll be talking about something a little bit lighter, something beginner friendly. I've realized that most of the classes I've been running have been more on the advanced side. So anyone who is probably a beginner would get a little confused with what I've been doing. But now I want to bring it down a bit. I want to do something a little beginner friendly. Now, if you want to learn any programming language, there are a few things that you need to take too serious, very serious, and one of them should be the data type. Because if you cannot tell what data type a variable is, you will not be able to process that variable or work on it. Now, the idea behind computer is collecting information, processing that information, and outputting that information, right? So in order for you to be able to process, you need to know what data type you're dealing with. Now in Python, we have three core data types, groups, sections of data types. Let me not just say data types. Three built-in groups of data types. Main. Now the first one is the numeric. Now the numeric. Sorry, if I could spell numeric. Now the numeric section has two very important parts of them. One is the int and the other is the float data type. Now the int data type is any real number from 1 to whatever that does not contain any float, and float means the decimal number, does not contain any decimal number. I will show you with an example. So let's declare a variable, and this variable name is x, and let's equate this variable to a number, say 7. If we equate this to it, let's come down and print x, and then we'll also print the type of x. Let's not just print x, let's print the type of x. Print type x. Now we run this, we're going to have 7, and then we're going to have a class of int. Now if we come back here and let me not jump into something else first. Let me explain this even way better for you. So even if you have 700, we had 7 before, now we have 700, we'll still have an int, a data type of int. Now we'll go back and then we try something else, something new. Let's turn that into something else. And number 2, the next thing we'll do, let's still use that same variable name x, and this time we're equating x to say 3.124. Let's just put it that way, and we'll run this. We'll get a 3.124, and then we get a class of float. So the number that has a decimal number is of type float. Once it has a decimal number, is of type float. Now let's go to the next one. The next section now we'll be dealing with will be the sequence section. Now in the sequence section, before we jump into the sequence section, I just want to show you something. Now if you have x and we equate it to let's equate it to the same 700, but this time let's put let's have say a single quotation in front, rather, or double, anyone you choose. Now this is a number quite alright. It's a number quite alright. But when you print this, it no longer becomes an int, it becomes a string. And the reason for this is because of the single quotation sign in front, and then the single quotation sign at the back, it automatically denotes, it tells the machine, the Python machine, that this variable submitted is of type string because it has the quotation mark in front of it. Nothing else, just the quotation mark in front and quotation mark at the back. I know I am concentrating on that quotation mark in front and quotation mark in back, because there are some other data types that will still have quotation mark in front and in back but still have other things, and they are not strings. Now I think I wanted to describe another type of another data type, which is the complex. The complex is how do I don't it's complex. The word is, it's the data type itself is complex, and I guess that's why they call it complex. So let me just give you an example. Let's say 7i. We have I and then we have 7. 7 is a number and I is an alphabet. So these are like two different things. You would not really understand what the I will be doing there. These are a little bit more advanced, but let's just see what data type we're given. Oh no, okay, sorry. Let's say 3 plus 7i. Oh, sorry, I guess this machine is probably not being able to read it for the Pydroid, but if you've done this on the system, you'll get a data type of complex. Let's move on to other things for now. So now let's jump into our sequence side, the sequence section. Now in the sequence, we have number 1 on the list, the string type. Now the string type, I've already given you a preamble of what a string type will look like. Let's use this string type as let's put Placid. Why not? Let's just say Placid. Why not? Yes, it can be Placid. All right, we'll try this out, and then we'll get the Placid, and then we'll get a class of string. Now this tells us that Placid is a string. Now if how do I put this? Okay, I'm trying to see. Oh well, let's just finish up with explaining all this. Then maybe I'll run some real examples using all these variable types. Now the next one on our line will be a list, and a list is a group of items that do not need to be of same data type, but they are just groups. I will give you an example. Let me start with now after the block brackets, you have to put the rest of your variables. Not really have to. You could have strings. So let me say first one I want to have is of type string. Let's say I'm trying to get a list of student names in the class, in a group rather. John, Janet. Sorry, I'm struggling with this thing. Janet, you must always separate them with a comma. Janet, Judith, and let's just add one last one, James. Why not? Okay. Now, if you have something like this, you roll this out, you're going to get this. It's a list. The sequence is a list. This data type is a list data type. Now, having this, we quote it. We add this. Okay. Then the next one we have on our list is called a tuple. A tuple is almost like okay. Before we go into a tuple, let me do something else. Let's have let's have this. Let's clean this up first. We would come back to it later. Let's remove the and then we take out this and then put 365 and run. It will not throw any error for us. Like I told you, a list contains, or rather is a group of items that do not necessarily need to be similar in type or in data type. So you can have in fact you can have another list inside this list. Let's do something like that. So we have this, and then we want to have another list inside this list, and that list is going to be 1 2 3 4. You get? And you run this, we still will not run into any error. The list is allowed to contain even lists. You can have a list of lists. So it all depends on how you want to process your data, or what libraries are available for you, whatever. It just depends on how you want to be able to process your data. You have the freedom of choosing what you want your program to be like. Now let's go back to the next. Let's go on to the next data type we need to talk about, and this would be the tuple. The tuple is almost like the list, but the problem with the difference between a tuple and a list is that a list can be modified while a tuple cannot be modified. So if you want to have a list of items or data that will never have to change throughout the process of your throughout your app, the best idea is to use a tuple. Or you want to get data that you do not want anyone to be able to manipulate, you do a tuple as well. Now a tuple, the difference in looks for a tuple and a list will just be the block bracket and then the curved brackets. Now in tuple we have a curved bracket. Let me do a tuple of the same thing, and this time John and we have Janet, and we have Judith, and we have what's next? We have 365. Let's just have it like that. We'll run this and we'll have that same list out, but then our class is of type tuple. Understood? I think that is the much I can tell you about sequence, the sequence data type in Python, inbuilt ones anyway. Now let's talk about the next one, which is the very interesting part. Now, in most programming languages, they are called different things. This side is called different things. Like if you're dealing with what they call it, JavaScript or PHP, you would probably call this an associative array. No, sorry, in JavaScript you would call it an object, I think, yes. And then in PHP it will be called an associative array. It's actually a group of data that uses the key value pair idea. Okay, let me just make this, let me write it out so you'd understand it way better. So we'll say X, we equate it to the way to denote a dictionary rather is using the curly brackets, which is this one. So inside the curly brackets you can do name. Sorry for the noise in the background. I have my family at home and my son is making a whole lot of noise. Okay. All right, back to this. Okay. In a dictionary, we use a key value pair. A key value pair looks something like this. Let's just say I have this dictionary, and in the dictionary, this dictionary is a dictionary of persons. Let me just put it that way. Sorry, I'm still using that variable x, but in fact, let me just call this persons. Person. Let me just call it person or persons. Let's do person because we'll be dealing with one first for now, then we'll deal with the rest later. Let me just change the x inside to person and change this to person. And in person we have name. That's the name of this person, and this name will be equal to John. And then the next value would probably get will be age, and John's age will be 30. And the next one we'll probably get is let's say we'll get the city where John lives in. Let's make this to be sorry city, we'll make this to be Eko, Lagos. For those of us who are in Nigeria, you understand what I mean. So Nigeria, let me put it that way. City, Lagos, and is there any other thing we need to add? I think at least for now, let's just be fine with this. So we'll run this out. We have all we asked for, and then we have our class type of dict. That's a dictionary. Now, where this gets very exciting, you remember when I talked about key value pair. So if I come here and say, let's just say I do not want to print everything on this dictionary, I just want to get the name value. So if I say person and bracket name, let me still put that down here as well and see if our type is going to change as well. So person name. Now if we play this out, you see we get John and then we get string. Now the reason why we're getting this string is because this is using this key, the key name here to get the value John. So this is more like an identifier, and this is the value of that identity. So this is the name, this is the identifier, and this is the value. So let's say I change this to, instead of name, I change it to age. Instead of name, I change to age. And let's see what is going to come out for us. We have 30 and we have the class of int, the type of int. So this is an integer. So the with a dictionary you can refer to other parts of the how do I call it? Other parts of the items present inside a dictionary. With the key you can access the value from a dictionary. Let me use another better way. Let's say I want to process this. Let's say for, let me use a for loop on this person. For item in person. For item in person, that's we're looping through person. For item in person, okay, no, let me not do for item in person. Let me do for key value. Value, not value, please. Key value in person. Print key and value. Oh no, sorry. Oh, okay, sorry. I think this is one mistake. For key in person, print key. Now we get all the keys in that person. Now, if I want to do the values as well, if I want to do the values of it as well, say I want to print out the values of this person, we could do something like this. Print person of the key. Now if we do this, we are going to print all the values of that key. We're going to have John 30 and Lagos. I think for now this is where we'll probably stop on data types in Python. On other videos I'll probably do more advanced data types, and we would sort through them. We would probably use them and put them into live examples. That's on my next video. For now I think we are good for here, and I want to appreciate you guys for actually watching up to this time. I want you to also like if you like the video, dislike if you do not like the video, subscribe, drop your comments if you have anything, maybe any suggestion, any topic you feel like we should deal with using our phone, because the main idea is being able to program on the go, not thinking about desktop. And for those who are money conscious, just have the basic knowledge. The truth is, programming language should be a must for every living human being. You should know at least one programming language, or the ideas behind programming language. That is just the major thing. Yes, using your phone is not going to make you a professional programmer. Maybe build a website from your phone. Some people can actually. It's possible to build a site from a phone, but I think that's dumb, because you just have to stress yourself all through. But you can learn from it. You can know the basics. Everything I'm doing here, if you're doing it on your PC, it will still work. There's no difference between what I'm doing here and doing this on a PC. It is absolutely the same thing. Once again, thank you guys for watching, and keep subscribing and keep spreading the good news until I come your way next time. Bye.